So, hi, welcome back. For those of you at home, this is renewal day or day 2. Everybody get breakfast? Everybody sleep good? Anybody scared to death of what's going on in the world right now and needs a hug or a safe space? Okay. If you do, we'll accommodate. I'll tell you where your safe space is. It's down the hall and on the right. So we're going to start off this morning doing holster work. My partner Jeff is going to go through, he's going to walk you through the different components of doing holster work and everything like that. So, and then for those of you that don't know, Jeff's son Braxton is one of our instructors. He's going to be with us and working on primarily on the range with us and stuff like that today. He's also gone through the DOJ program and all that. So, but Braxton, class, Braxton. And I'll turn it over to you, Jeff, and you can start with the holster work.
So the first 10 people I gave the pistols to, go ahead and stand up and just kind of face me. The other you guys behind, if you can kind of see me, watch what I'm doing, it benefits you when I'm doing it next. So our holster work, you have a handout in your red folder on your left-hand side when you open it up. On the back page, I give you directions on how to do this and practice at home. And I encourage you to practice holstering and unholstering your weapon. Depending on what clothes you have, what time of year it is, it all makes a big difference. How you're going to get to how to get into your weapon. So, anyhow, everybody got your weapon in your holster or in your pocket. That's all right. I should have stipulated that yesterday. I forgot to do that though. So, you can see I am covered. Don't have to cover if you're already tucked in. I'm not worried about you. Still do the motions and all that. With the handout that I gave you, that tells you how to practice. You can do that step by step. One day, you can just clear your garment. Second day, you can clear your garment, eye on the back strap grip. Third day, pull it out of the holster. Third day, two-hand grip. Fourth day, two-hand grip. Then come out, give commands, blah, 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 and do this whole thing. You can do one day at a time. You can do it all one time if you're more experienced. But I suggest you practice drawing your holster in your t-shirt, with the sweatshirt on, with the jacket on. Every day you wear something different. Before you leave the house, practice drawing your holster, or drawing your weapon, I mean.
With an empty weapon.
With an empty weapon, yeah. That's important to have an empty weapon. But you need to practice drawing that with what you're wearing clothes-wise that day.
Part of your dry fire.
Holster, if you have a cross draw holster, appendix draw, whatever, you need to practice getting that holster out, that gun out of the holster, different clothing. So anyhow, at this point, okay, first step, clear your garment. Okay, good grip, high on the back strap. Okay, grip all your fingers, everything, got fingers, okay. At this point, I want you to come out, tilt a little bit, okay. You can either down, that's okay to be high like that, so it's okay. If you want to be down love handles, that's okay too. Again, there's no right way, wrong way. As long as your gun is pointed down range that you can actually shoot it at that point, okay. Let's go ahead and reholster. Recover. Okay. At this point, we're going to get the two-handed grip. So we're going to clear your garment. Good grip. Come out of the holster, immediately get down range. A little bit of cant. Bring that barrel up a little higher. You can shoot down range. Okay. A little higher on the barrel. There you go.
Is that actually pointing at me? There you go.
Yeah.
That's the idea. You're pointing this at the bad guys.
At this point, your left hand is on your belly or on your chest.
Are you pointing at me?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, come over, get a two-handed grip. Okay, depends if you want to do this kind of grip or if you still, I'm old-fashioned, I tuck my thumb still. I'm old-fashioned, I won't change. Anyhow, go ahead and get a two-hand grip. At this point, I want you to come out straight, give commands, get down, get down. Get back. So the bad guy ran away. You want to come down back to low ready. Again, keep your barrel pointed down range. You want to assess behind you, left, right behind you all the way. If you're left-handed, normally it's easier to go right first, left, and then left over your shoulder. For whatever reason, left-handers, or you have injuries, whatever, can make you not look back as far behind you if you try to go opposite of your strong hand.
Typically, the dominant hand that you are, your neck actually bends a little farther that way towards your dominant hand, which gives you that extra stretch to see behind you.
Body works weird ways. Anyhow, at this point, you want to make sure your garment is clear. You're going to reluctantly look at your holster and insert your weapon and click it into place and cover back up. So we're going to do this one more time, step by step, and then we'll probably call it a day. We went over the background of drawing it and everything else pretty good. So, okay, at this point, go ahead and clear your garment, high in the back strap, grab your weapon and draw it, down range, two-handed grip, come out, give commands, get down, get down.
Get away from me.
Okay, again, you ran away, come back down low ready. You want to assess your area, go to your left side, your right side, behind your right, all the way behind you, see what's behind you. If everything is clear at this point, you reluctantly clear your holster. Clear your garments, look at your holster, and clear and reserve. So anyhow, that's basically a holster.
Good job. Everybody did a really good job.
So go ahead and take your holsters off and hand your weapons up. Me and my son will take them.
So we talked about CCW insurance. You're going to kind of get a little bit of a review here and there through today's gig. We talked about your car insurance. Now everybody had a different carrier. Now everybody's got a different policy. You got to find one that works for you. This is just a small list of CCW insurance. There's all kinds of different companies, all kinds of different policies. Once again, when you get down to your short list, that you're going to have one of those two probably be on your short list, more than likely. But there's lots of different ways to do it. There is no one way, there is just a way. There is no a way, there is just a way, not the way. This is the same thing. It's just a way to get you covered. You got to figure out which one works best for your budget, what works best for your personal. We talked about CRPA. CRPA is associated with CCW Safe. Very similar to USCCA. There's one of their direct competitors.
Thank you.
Look at them both. See what works best for you. Less than lethal defense. So we kind of got into this yesterday a little bit. Why less than lethal? What's the advantage to having a less than lethal option?
Don't go to jail.
So you don't go to prison. Because a firearm is our tool of last resort. Got to have something between 0 and 100 on your speedometer, right? Same thing goes with your self-defense. You got to have something between 0 and 100. Less than lethal bridges the gap. Pepper spray, energy weapons. Who's familiar with the baton? How many of you guys have a baseball bat in the trunk of the car?
I have a baton.
Got a baton?
Yeah.
Don't carry it in the state of California, that's a felony.
Okay, a loaded gun is a misdemeanor in
That's
California, and the baton's a felony.
Welcome to California.
That's why we left.
Say it before, I'll say it again. I told you yesterday to bring your popcorn today, right? Because we're gonna be going through California law. Yes. A baton in the state of California is considered an offensive weapon and not a defensive weapon.
If you gents or ladies have a brand new sledgehammer handle in the back of your vehicle and the cop decides, hey, I feel like messing with this guy, because he's being a dick to me. They can consider that a bludgeoning weapon, a tire thumper, and give you a year sentence type of felony.
So, Braxton's correct. If you're gonna bring a baseball bat with you, any attorney worth his salt is gonna tell you, buy a pair of cleats, throw them in the back with the baseball bat, buy a mitt, buy a ball, throw it in the back. Because that way you can tell the 12 village idiots, I play softball on Friday night. It was an unconventional use of force at that point. It's not a baton. So, working for the Department of Corrections, going through their academy, we spent over 600 hours working with our baton. Wait. Sorry. I think it was 250 hours working with our baton. Okay. That's a lot of time practicing with a baton. A lot of time. Then they decided, we're gonna go to the range and we're gonna do firearms training. And we did 40 hours in the classroom and then we did 40 hours out on the range. And when we got done, they told us, you're now peace officers, go get yourself a gun. Carry your gun off duty. But don't take a baton with you, because that's still a felony. Unless you're on the job, in the capacity of your job working, that baton is still considered a felony. And yes, you're right. A loaded concealed gun without your permit is a misdemeanor. Hi, side box 24. It's not an admission of guilt, just a promise to appear that you'll show up in court on that day. And off you go.
They won't
Without your gun.
They're gonna confiscate the gun?
Probably. But if you get caught with the baton, do me a favor, turn around, put your hands behind your back, place your palms face to face together, click, click.
First time ever.
Gonna give you a ride downtown. So don't carry your baton with you in the state of California. We talked about tasers and stun guns yesterday. A little bit. What's the big problem with that? You have to get close enough to touch the bad guy with it. Trust me, somebody with a little bit of training, you get close enough to touch them with it, they have training and you don't, you're probably gonna get your stun gun taken away from you and used on you. Distance is your friend. Keep that distance, which renders that stun gun kind of useless except for an intimidation factor. It is intimidating. I'm sure everybody's kind of had an exposure to it. Click, 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 click. Ooh. Little blue arc goes back and forth. It's intimidating, but I'd rather have a tool that I could actually use rather than just trying to intimidate somebody with.
It's also effective when you're hiking for, you click off your stun gun for animals. I've had my niece do that out in Colorado.
Okay.
Scare them away.
Scare away the Bigfoot.
Well, yeah, well, it worked in that one case, yeah.
We talked about tasers, the X26 being, you know, you have to use that at a distance. At least you got distance with it. But the problem with it is, it doesn't work all the time, every time.
No.
About a 70% effective rate. 70% is better than 0%, but pepper spray, I really like pepper spray. There's not much on this planet that likes pepper spray. When you go out into the Alaskan outback or the bush, what do they tell you to bring? Your 10mm Glock and a can of bear spray.
Braxton? Excuse me, sorry. I'd like to listen to him. Up here it's hard if you're talking back there. Thank you.
What you got?
I was curious what the name of that pepper spray flashlight you had.
Saber.
Saber?
Saber is the manufacturer of it.
E-R-E or?
Thank you.
R-E.
S-A-B-E-R. Pepper spray. There's not much on the planet likes it. Grizzly bears run from it. Humans don't like it.
Illegal in Canada.
Illegal in Canada, which is why you stay in the States and Alaska to use it.
You know where else you can't have it is actually in Yosemite. Ridiculous. Yeah. Can't have bear sprayers in
You can't have bear spray in Yosemite.
Right, yeah. I mean, I get it because people be using, they'll see a bear and they're like,
They
oh,
purposely
spray
go out
it.
looking for the bear
Yeah,
to try
spray
and use
it.
the bear
But,
spray.
Yeah, it
And
leaves you
you're
with less
antagonizing the
options.
wildlife when you do that.
Yeah, less options though. Yeah.
Okay,
Tommy for you.
Right.
okay. I never knew that.
Yeah.
I learned something today. I can go home now.
Mike,
So, pepper spray is a great tool. However, there is a percentage of the population that pepper spray does not work on. Very small percentage. And I was at work one day. I drew my pepper spray. He was a rather large man. And I went, shh, and he went, fortunately for me, in the setting that I was working in, it took less than about 10 seconds for about 30 guys to actually come out, and you didn't have to fight that long.
Wow.
But there is a percentage of the population that pepper spray doesn't work on. Very small.
Berna, that less lethal high
brought it up.
projectile. Yeah, what do you think about that?
Everybody familiar with the Berna?
Yes.
Anybody not familiar with the Berna? Okay, so the Berna is the manufacturer's name. It is designed to be a launcher, a less than lethal launcher. It looks very similar to a handgun, except it launches projectiles that are usually chemical agent pepper ball
Oh,
launchers. Okay. In California, it is illegal for a citizen to have a chemical agent launcher. However, Berna's answer to that is using a solid direct impact munition.
that's what I said.
50 caliber, basically a hockey puck that is the size of basically a pepper ball or a paintball.
Yeah.
Made out of hockey puck material. I don't want to get shot by anything. I don't think anybody wants to get shot by anything. Anybody ever heard the expression, bring a knife to a gunfight? Well, believe it or not, more often than not, sometimes the knife actually wins in that.
Yeah.
But if you're shooting a projectile that's just a direct impact, depending on the individual, it might just make them mad. You know,
But
I don't want to get shot by it. I'm sure it's very discomforting. I'm sure in a normal type situation, it might be incapacitating. However, if I'm going to actually draw something, point it at somebody, and pull a trigger, I'd want it to be effective. I'd want it 100%.
I totally agree with you, so
Be
then why are you
effective.
then bringing up these left lethal
Because
because you're saying to bridge the gap.
Because you do need some kind of an option between 0 to 100.
I totally agree with you.
I'm not trying to discount Byrna and their product. 'Cause the last thing I want them to do is call me up and tell me to come down and let me show you how this works on you, sir. Just don't want no part of it.
Go to Sportsman and just stand
I
there.
really don't, and I'm sure that they are effective to a degree. But here's the other thing, it's shaped like a handgun.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen
Yeah.
when you draw your Byrna and somebody else who is armed sees what they think is somebody with a gun?
Other than it's bright orange, but I get your point.
But you don't need a permit,
You don't?
perfectly legal to carry on just about any form of transportation except for the airport. It's another option. It's the application of the tool.
Yeah.
There's always a proper application of a tool. How many of you guys, and forgive me for being sexist, how many of you guys ever use a crescent wrench as a hammer?
Too lazy.
Did it work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it as effective as if you would have actually grabbed the hammer? The proper application of the tool. Can the tool work in an instance that it's not really designed to? Absolutely it can. You want the actual tool that you're actually trying to use the application for? Absolutely.
I would think you were gonna go down the road that if you come in with something that bridged the gap, and you happen to have a burner and you're carrying, now you're legally in a very different situation as to why did you use that versus that. From a legal perspective, I thought you were gonna go
If
down
I'm
that
carrying two different forms, yes. If the option comes that I can use a less than lethal prior to going to my firearm, and I have that ability, and from the totality of the circumstances, that it actually makes sense to deploy a less than lethal first, then yes, absolutely. Because especially when it goes to court,
That's,
I tried to do this first. It didn't work. I had to transition to make sure it did work. Yes, it will help you.
well, I was gonna go the reverse,
So was I
where,
was thinking the reverse.
where you, end up shooting somebody, they know that you've got, in the case, that you got a burner, and now they're gonna use it against you, that you had another alternative, and you chose to go straight to deadly force instead of doing something less lethal.
Totality of the circumstances, no different than a police officer on the street.
Exactly right.
Totality of your circumstances as to, so we used to teach the academy a wheel of the use of force. You must, legal definition, must try to use this and then transition to this and then transition to that. Okay, they've gone away from that. They got too many cops hurt having to try and follow policy by going through the transition of the wheel of the use of force. And it is exactly that. Because of the totality of the circumstances, it was not prudent for me to try and do this and this before having to use lethal force option. So now it's whatever's available to you at the time that is reasonable. We went through that yesterday. And he explained, what's the reasonable use of force? What's everybody else think society, as a society, is acceptable in the use of force? So, complete totality of the circumstances is what's going to dictate as to what kind of an option you should do.
If you get a burner, do you have to conceal it, or can you just have it out and open?
I have not researched it enough. I have not really been interested in the product personally to research it, so I don't have a definitive answer. But I did what little I do know about it. I know you don't need a permit to have one.
Correct.
So, there you have it. Verbal judo.
Can I throw something in here?
Sure.
I got into a fist fight with a guy and I had I don't have my glasses on, pepper spray on the bottom. So I thought that was the optimal thing. You can carry it in your pocket and you can hold it. Because I held it in my hand and he came in before I could spray him. So I had that in my hand and we got into a fight.
Broke your hand?
No, but it helped.
Okay.
I mean, I
It's like a
won the
roller
fight,
coaster.
I'm just
Brass
saying it's the
knuckles.
best thing. I mean, everything's less lethal and what's optimal.
Yes.
That's my opinion.
Yes, and it's application of the tool for that.
And I wasn't
dictates
trying
the
to
total.
brag, I got into a fist fight.
No,
Sorry.
not at all, not at all. Thank God you had something,
Yeah, it worked.
you know? And whatever it takes to work to be able to get you away from that situation.
I mean, there were people gathering in also, and I had the pepper spray. So I got out of the situation, you know. But I had a buddy come up and say, okay guys, back up, because it was turning into a bunch of homeless people in California where I lived for 40 years on me.
What part?
Pismo Beach.
Okay.
Yeah, they ruined that too. But anyway, the crowd was kind of coming in with their inline stuff and all this stuff, and skateboard or whatever. But my buddy came up and said, okay, back up. So that stopped it and we finished up, but I had the pepper spray, you know, for multiple attackers.
There you go.
And again, they're all unarmed. So if you were concealing, you whip the gun out, you know, bang, 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 you're gonna have a big problem.
Yeah. And if you didn't go bang, 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 you're gonna have a bigger problem because they're all gonna pile on you and take your gun from
Well,
you.
that too, yeah.
And then they'll go bang, bang.
But yeah, you know, the pepper spray, in my opinion, was probably, I think, the optimal. I like the flashlight idea that you have.
Once again, application of the tool, because if the wind's blowing in your face and you go to pepper spray somebody,
Right.
it's not that effective on the bad guy now, is it? Now all you've done is hurt yourself.
On that,
So,
I trained with a guy in
go
Santa
ahead.
Paula, Knockout Lights. He was Santa Paula PD. And he said he had pepper spray in his belt and it stayed there the whole time he was there at Santa Paula PD. But he did say his partner sprayed someone and hit him right in the eye. So it is situationally dependent.
yeah, working in corrections, trust me, partners have pepper sprayed partners.
Right in the middle of a fight.
Wind is blowing the wrong way and you wind up taking out your partners with it as well. Yeah, when the wind's blowing, it might be a baton day rather than a pepper spray day.
Is that spraying a gel better because of the wind?
Application of the tool. So specifically with the Department of Corrections, we would go to the hospital. We'd still have to have our pepper spray. However, we did not use the aerosol spray, we used foam.
Yeah.
It contains it. It doesn't go into the air. It's not contaminating to other patients and people in the area, but foam can be effective. However, the foam can also
Okay. Good point. All right.
gel. Once again, there is no perfect tool. It's just a
That makes
tool.
sense. Yeah.
It's just a way.
For an imperfect situation.
And it just depends on the totality of your circumstances as to what tool, which is why we got away from the wheel, as to what you need to transition to be effective.
The gel, you have to be really good aim. It's not, I've been in a situation where I've had to pull that on an animal, and it's like, it was harder than you think to get where you were needing to get. So just practice with the gel if you're gonna use it. I carry gel, but it was much harder, it took me by surprise.
Do you expose yourself to it?
No.
Have you ever been exposed to it?
No. I'd really like to avoid that. That's why I do the gel, but I've been thinking I probably want the.
So here's what I would recommend for anybody who does carry pepper spray.
Try it.
Get yourself exposed to it and understand that you can fight through it. Because what that does is that it goes in and it affects your respiratory, it affects your vision, your nose, and that's why it is effective on most people, because they've never been exposed to it and it's doing what it's designed to do, which is incapacitate. But if you contaminate yourself, you have to learn how to fight through it. You have to learn, I'm not going to die. Your body and your brain are telling you, oh my God, I'm gonna die. But you have to fight through it to where you've trained yourself. So, I'm not saying go out and spray each other in the face.
Do what they do in the academy.
That's what they did to the academy. And the funny thing was that there was a glass partition, and they got to where they were just, you walk up to the glass partition, had one side of your face exposed. And he goes, "Are you ready?" "Yeah." "What?" "Yeah." "Ready?" "Yeah." Oh, I fell for that one. Don't fall for that one. So, but if you are carrying it, at least kind of get some type of an exposure so that you do recognize it, so that you do have an understanding of what it is that you're using, understanding what your opponent is experiencing. It's good all the way around just to get some type of an exposure. Now, I wouldn't suggest that with your firearm, but when it comes to chemical agents, yeah, give yourself a little exposure just so that you have an understanding of what it's doing.